Hey everyone, how are we doing? So it's Josh here from the Natural Workshop. I had a couple of requests to, man it's cold here today. I had a couple of requests to do a review on this Axminster saw bench that we've been using for the last 4 years. And so that's what the video is. It is the AW10BSB2, so that's Alpha Whiskey 10 Bravo Sierra Bravo 2. I know that they've sort of changed the model code on the new Axminster saw. Theirs is Alpha Tango 254 Sierra Bravo, that's AT254SB. I've had a look online. I haven't had a phone back from Axminster yet, but I'll try and get hold of them tomorrow before I post this and put any differences in the description. As far as I can tell, the only real difference that there is the motor might run slightly slower. So maybe they've changed to a different type of motor. But I doubt it. It's still 2.2 kilowatts. And that's it. So the dust extraction that comes and that would sit on the blade guard here, it used to be like a 1-inch pipe, so a 25mm pipe, and now I think they use like a 40mm pipe, 40mm pipe. So other than that, let's get into it. I'll show you around and we'll see what you think. Cool. Okay, so this is the setup we have in the workshop at the moment. We have a workbench here, which is built on casters. Just simple workbench made out of 2x4 and MDF. It's perfect because the access door for giving it a clean out and everything is on this side. So what we do is we can just pop the caster on, move this around. Also means we can use it anywhere in the workshop that we need to. This is the pressed steel extension that came with the saw. And we recently got the 2 cast iron steel extensions. Cast iron steel. So we recently got the 2 cast iron extensions on top. I think they were like a couple £100 for this saw. And it also comes with a new fence and rail. So that was quite nice. Saw construction, it's all pressed steel. So you have pressed steel plates. There's a beam that runs up here. It's effectively two sections. Top section, bottom section. Everything's bolted together, nice and sturdy. I really like it. We also have ours sat on the roller base that you can buy from Axminster. It's not a cheap roller base, that's for sure, but it's solid. And obviously we've got our doors and everything here, so when we want to move anything in and out, it makes a lot of sense. We run it on this Charnwood, I think it's a W671, 691, something like that. You'll have to check us on that. It is their 1500 watts, that's a 2 horsepower extractor. We have the 1 micron pleated filter cartridge at the top, works pretty well. We got this off of eBay for like £300 new. It's not perfect, it's not the best, I know, but for us it works really, really well. You can see underneath, it has 2 4-inch ports out there. So one goes to the back, and when we have the overhead crown guard on the top there, the other 4-inch here comes off and goes up to the top. You will have to excuse me today, guys. It's about 4 degrees in the workshop. Sunday evening. It's cold and so I'm sniffing a lot. But yeah, so that's the saw. It also does come with a steel outfeed tail that sits on the top of these. It's pretty much the same size as the table, same size as the brackets. We don't use it because it blocks the miter slots down here, and we use so many jigs and sleds that just wouldn't work for us. Yeah, you can see it's got your 4-inch port out the back there. This goes up and into a hopper underneath the blade. I'll show you that in 2 seconds. And on this model, it's got a little 1-inch section here. I'll show you. A little 1-inch section that we've just got taped off that comes out and goes up to the overhead blade, which we have naughtily snipped off. But we do have an overhead crown guard that sits on the top of it. Don't use a table saw without a blade, and if you do, you chop your fingers off. It's not my fault. The other thing to remember is it is a 16 amp saw. So yeah, so you need to get these. There are ways around it. I'm not going to tell you how to get around it. Whoops. But yes, so it is a 16 amp saw unit, and that's obviously something to bear in mind. Ignore the mess in the shop. It's been a busy week. But okay, cool. So let's move this table out of the way and we'll have a look, shall we? Let's put you down here. Get this table out of the way. Right then, so here we are. So obviously you've got your NVR switch here. This door, if you do any work in here and it stops working, chances are you've got some sawdust in here. So this isn't hitting the interlock, which is obviously stopping it from working. So what is the inside of the saw like? Let's have a look. Things I really like about it. I can't find any plastic in it. Even the hopper is made from steel, right? Your pulley wheels are made from steel. Your threaded rod, like a lead screw type thing, that tilts the saw from 90 to 45. That's steel. It goes through a steel like lead nut type thing. Even the worm gear up here, which I'll show you in 2 seconds, is steel as well. So really nice, to be honest with you. Those are the sorts of things that companies will cheap out on, and with Axminster on this model you don't get that. I couldn't really talk for any of the others. The only other one that we've used is the TS200, which again is amazing. I sold that to somebody and they still use it to this day, and that's maybe 8 years old, so a lot to be said for it. You can see in here we have where the dust extraction comes in from the rear. It comes in, goes in, but it goes into like a mouth like that. It's not a circle, it's like a mouth. I have had issues with this in the past, where when you tilt it to 45, this raise comes this way towards you, and the hose comes off. So yeah, I've had that problem quite a few times. So what I've done is I've got a couple Jubilee type clips on it, hose clips on there, and we've not had any problems since. But yeah, as you can see, there's nothing really to go wrong inside here. You can see the blade up there. And for the money, great bit of kit. So we'll go around and have a look at the other side. Oh, I'll tell you what, while we're here, we'll have a look at the fence. So the fence has this micro adjuster on it. I've never used it except to smash my head onto these and my shoulders and my back of my hands, which is awesome. I don't use the micro adjuster. It pushes in like that and then you can turn it. I've got it taken off because it just gets in the way. The fence fixes at the front and at the back here. So when it starts to, there's a threaded rod that runs all the way along here. When that starts to become a problem, you can tighten up at the far end. Look, I'll show you. So yeah, you just tighten this up. I have no doubt that at some point this is going to snap, and then we'll just replace the threaded rod with some threaded bar and see how long that lasts. I guess there's supposed to be an end cap on here, but I've taken it off. Anything else to do with the fence? Fence works really well. It's easy to adjust. Let me see if I can show you. Really easy to adjust. You have 4, I think these were Phillips. I changed them for hex. I've got some new ones in there because they tend to get stuck. So you just, obviously you keep one tight, or mostly tight, loosen the other 3 off, and then you can pivot it left and right, which works really, really well. You do need to make sure there's no sawdust in here. You get any sawdust in here at all, and it will throw how true the fence is out. So that's something really, really, really something to bear in mind. With the upgrade, with the table extensions and this fence, sorry guys, with the table extensions and the fence, we can get 930 between the furthest amount of the fence that will go here and the blade. We have to jerry rig it a bit. It doesn't clamp like it might be hanging off like, say, this much on the other side, but it works. We cut down lots of 18mm birch and stuff with it like that, and it doesn't move. And then on this side, we can get 230mm. It's worth noting that the blade pivots to the right. So for the most part, it's going to be cutting towards the fence, which I know a lot of people don't like. I'm not a huge fan of it personally, but when you're looking at time, money, and the reliability of the Axminster tools, for I think it's $950, $960 at the moment for this saw, I genuinely don't think you're going to find a better option, to be honest with you. I mean, that's just my opinion. Oh, the other thing to note, I put a 0 clearance insert in there. You can see, I don't know if you can see both sides of the blade. It's old, it needs replacing. This is the insert that comes with the saw. obviously it sits like that in there, but as you can see, we cut a huge amount of plywood, veneered board and that sort of thing, and that would just allow for too much tear out, which is something that we don't want. So yeah, so the zero clearance in that insert is in there. Yeah, cool. Real simple. For here we have a little clip here that we can lock in and out to stop it from stop the blade going up and like this one here. I don't know if you see that. Stops the blade going up and down. This here, you tighten that off. So this one here will tilt it to 45. Once you've got it to the position that you want, tighten it up with this. It still moves a little bit, but it's pretty good. And then you can set the height with this, clamp this down, and it shouldn't move. I tend to have a piece of like magnetic vinyl board over the top of these holes, just to aid with the dust extraction, because it really, really, really does struggle. And you can see we've got like a 2 meter hose, which I can shorten down, but this stuff's expensive, so like the hose is expensive, so I try and keep it as long as possible. And we still have to hoover it out like maybe once every couple of weeks, but it's not like all the way full. It's just a bit in there. So let me see if we're going to be able to see. Let me get light in here. All right. So again, not really a huge amount to see in here. You can see in the corner here, this is the worm gear that runs off of the threaded rod there. Not too much light. Yeah, there we go. Look, the threaded rod there. That's what moves the blade up and down. And then you can see this lead nut over in here, and that's what pivots it pivots it to from 90 to 45. Everything inside is steel. I've not found any plastic really. Yeah, that's the hopper mouth. You can see the sort of angle. So we've just got some hose clips in there, Jubilee clips. It's belt driven machine. Really, really, really nice bit of kit. I love it. For the money, I genuinely don't think you're going to find better, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, so I really like it. What else is there to note? I don't really think there's anything to note, really, if I'm honest with you guys. Hey, my gimbal's gone mad. 2 seconds. There we go. We back? Hey, we're back. Happy days. Yeah, so things to note with it. It does fill up with sawdust. The fence isn't perfect. You do need to keep an eye on it. The mitre gauge that comes with it is trash. We bought this AJ Tools. I think it's AJ Tools. It's the Axminster, like, nice brand, Gucci brand. It's not worth 110 quid. I'm not a massive fan of it. I don't think it's very good. I'll show you what we use. I have a collection of, so I've got an auxiliary fence here, because sometimes the fence does sit a little bit higher. So if I'm cutting thin boards, it always helps to have this right flush up against the table saw table. I have a sled for cutting 45 miters. I've got push stick or push block, and I've got this for cutting 45. So when we're doing picture framing and stuff for people. And I have a nice big sled over here, made out of poplar and birch, which is perfect, to be honest with you. Oh, and we've got one for doing compound miters as well. This one, which slots over. You see one of these. Slots over the thing like that. And what you can do is you can clamp your board to it, set the blade to whatever angle, and then that way you can do the more acute angles, so 0 to 45. And it slides nicely along there. It's a bit stiff because everything's cold today. But yeah, so really nice unit. I do genuinely love it. I'll just point out, the reason we got the table extensions, it's something we should have done when we bought the saw. We didn't, because we were trying to save money. We just set up the business at the time. I wish we bought them when we did. I understand why we didn't. It would have made life a lot easier. But you live and learn, don't you? It's difficult when you're trying to save money. But But yeah, there's nothing really that bothers me about the tool. Like I said, it's 2.2 kilowatts, so it's 3 horsepower. This one is anyway. The other one's the same. Let me show you the... you guys see that? Is it going to focus? So you can pause that there if you want it. That's the specs for this machine, the 10BSB2, 10 Bravo Sierra Bravo 2. Like I said, I had a look at the other one. I can't really see any issues with it, and any differences, sorry, other than the intake that goes over to the blade guard. But other than that, it looks pretty much the same. Yeah, it is. Like I said at the start, this one does say it's 4,000 RPMs. The one on the Axminster website does say it's 3,500. I don't know why they've dropped that, if there's any particular reason they have. Oh, and yeah, the other thing to notice on the fence is, I think this is a bit of a gimmick. These viewing holes, it's like a magnifying glass, help you to be able to adjust it properly. For me, the tapes that go along them, they're just a waste of time. They tend to move. They can, the steel can move sometimes in the summertime when it gets real hot in here. So I just use a steel rule that costs like a tenner. And then everything is perfect and everything is exactly the same. Anything else to show you? No. Oh, I tell you what, I do like how you change the blade. Give us 2 seconds and I'll show you how you change blade. So, yeah, this is just cut from a piece of 3mm birch. Ideally, really, it wants some reinforcing strips along the back edge here, but we're going to replace it, so it's not a problem. One cool thing that I really do like, you guys probably aren't going to be able to see, is on... Yeah, you might be able to see it. On the... So there is... Can we see? You see that hole there? What that means is this fits, you can put your screwdriver into it. So what that means then is, as you're trying to undo the blade, because I'm trying to do it one-handed here, trying to undo the blade on a table saw can be hard work, because sometimes you have to clamp the blade with your hand and then undo the nut on this side, whereas this saw has a cut out here and a cut out there. You can just jam that in there, and then it makes it a lot easier to undo the blade. But yeah, I mean, there we are, guys. I think that's it, really. I know there's other options, right? I do have this conversation with people a lot. I know there's other options where the table saws are quite similar, you know, built in the same factory and all that sort of stuff. I have a tendency to go with Axminster wherever possible. We have an Axminster lathe, table saw, drum sander, and belt sander, and that's because if you have any problems with them, like I know we had one machine where the NVR died. I called them up, we diagnosed it, literally 9 o'clock the next day, a new NVR switch turned up, took it off, put a new one on, done, ready back to work. I mean, you know, when you look at a lot of the other companies where they buy all the tools come in from America, all the tools come in from China, and they don't keep spares on the counter, that is really going to stuff you. Yeah, let me turn you around. So yeah, so the fact that they keep the spares there and they have a technical team and the guys are... I've heard a couple issues where people have had problems with them, but I don't know, I've never really had any issues. And whenever I have ever had... it's cold, I'm tired. Whenever I have had problems with the tools, every single time I've called them up, had a chat with them, it's been dealt with. So yeah, the after sales service is something that I personally find, because we're trying to run a business, we can't have tools can't have downtime. I personally think that is the best thing about Axminster, is the after sales. I know the tools are a little bit more expensive. I tend to think that maybe where a lot of other companies will cheap out on things like pulleys and belts and stuff like that, Axminster spend that little bit of extra money and they have a little bit nicer stuff. So yeah, I think for the extra don't know, 100, 200 pounds. I don't even think it's that much for the extra 50 quid that you're going to spend to get the Axminster saw. It's better to not cut corners and better to, what is it they say, buy cheap, buy twice. You know, buy once, cry once, and then it's done. So, yeah, but awesome saw. I would love to know what you think. Let me know. Drop us a comment down below. If you think there's something that you'd like us to know, I can revisit it. If you think I'm talking BS, by all means, tell me. I might not agree with you, but I would love to hear what you think. And yeah, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And if there's anything else you'd like us to do a review on, let us know. Like I said, I have their oscillating belt sander. I have their dual drum sander, and we also have their Axminster trade lathe over there as well. So yeah, have a think. And the extractor is W691. I'm just looking at the one that we have over the other side of the room. It's got a massive sticker on it. But yeah, and that was a Charnwood one as well. So not bad for 300 quid, but not the best. But not bad for £300. I think we've had it for 12, 18 months. And it's been fairly abused and it's still running. One of them's dying, but the other one works. So it's all good. But yeah, anyway, stop rambling. I'll catch you guys later. You have a good one, and I shall see you next time. All right? Take it easy then.